My name is Jack Peterson. I am Ajax. I am Mr. Clean. I am the Corona guy. I'm Quarantine Man. I am the man of 1,000 strongly worded wrestling opinions. I'm Sex Pac. And of course, I'm joined every single week on FightGeist by the man across the internet.
I'm Phil. I'm Prince Havoc. I'm Mr. Predictions, running strong. I am too sweet, and I am ready to talk about our top 10 matches, Jack.
Of course, we both have compiled our lists of our top 10 matches, wrestling matches, of course, of all time. This could be a very controversial discussion. This could be a very straightforward discussion. Who knows? I don't want to sound too much like an internet guy. I don't want to sound too much like I'm just picking the matches that everybody else loves. There is no Stone Cold versus Bret Hart on my list. Let's just say that. Let's start off with that. But I know that you, Phil, have some controversial choices. How many of your matches are Young Bucks matches?
Let's see. Surprisingly enough, only one is a Young Bucks match.
See, that's still one too many for me. You know how much I hate the Young Bucks. That is a topic for another time. We have this plan.
That's a topic for another time, Jack.
In the future, and it could happen next week, it could happen down the line. We're going to have a debate about this. We're going to converse about why I hate the Young Bucks and why you love the Young Bucks so much. We both cannot understand the other's position, but that's all right. We'll talk about that another time. Today, we're debating our top 10 matches ever. So wrestling has matches, right? You know this. It has matches.
Yeah.
A lot of matches, in fact. There's matches every week. There's like a dozen matches on every fucking Raw and SmackDown. Most of them are shit, just in general. I mean, process of elimination, they're going to be bad, a lot of them. But some of these matches have shaped our entire childhood, our entire life as a wrestling fan. And today we're going to be talking about those matches.
Yes, we are. Now, it's hard. It's very hard to say. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. I'm currently watching the Attitude Era on the WWE Network, and I'm watching ECW on the WWE Network. So I'm going to say right now, I don't have any ECW or many Attitude Era matches on here because I'm currently watching it. My list might change after I'm done with Attitude Era and ECW. Who knows? But this is my list for right now, without knowing much of ECW and Attitude Era.
I'm in the same position as you. I'm also currently watching the Attitude Era on the WWE Network. I've been binge watching it during this whole quarantine situation. It's all I've been watching, really. I've not even been really paying attention to Raw, these empty arena Raws and SmackDowns and stuff. I've been watching them, but I'd rather not. Instead, I'm watching pay-per-views. Like today I watched Brian Pillman versus Goldust in the match where if Brian Pillman won, he would get to rape Goldust's wife for 30 days. All-time classic. It's actually a pretty decent match, looking back on it too. He loses, or Goldust loses because his wife hits him in the head with a brick by accident. It's classic stuff. You cannot get better than that. That match, though, not on my list. Like you said, I don't have a lot of matches either that are from the Attitude Era. I will say this. Every match on my top 10 list is from 2001 onward. The earliest match that's on it is from 2001. And I had a long list. Originally I had 40 matches. And I was like, these are the best matches I can think of, my favorite matches ever. And I had to cut these down significantly because, of course, we cannot talk about 40 matches on this show. We can't be going on for 3 hours about every great match we've ever seen in our lives. So I cut it down. And before, there were a lot of matches from the Attitude Era. There were matches from ECW. There were matches from New Japan. There were matches from AEW. But not anymore. Right now, as far as I can say, without spoiling my list, all 10 of my top 10 matches ever, well, they're from the WWE.
Okay, interesting. I'll tell you the different promotions I have. I'm going to count WWF and WWE as two separate promotions because, they really are just two completely different things.
Sure.
So let me count it up real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is compelling radio right here.
There's really 6 different ones.
Different
depending
promotions?
on how you look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So very interesting. Do you have?
There's a lot.
Yeah. What are the promotions? WWF, WWE.
Should I run through the promotions?
You know what? Why don't we just wait until we get to our matches?
Yeah,
because I think we'll know.
We'll wait.
So since we did come up with 10, we usually do top 5 lists on this show. We've done our top 5 favorite wrestlers ever. We've done our top 5 favorite wrestlers of the current year. But right now, we just had so many great matches. We just couldn't cut it down to 5. It would have been pretty impossible. So just in the interest of time, so you're not sitting here all day listening to our top 10 favorite matches, because we tend to go on tangents on this show. We tend to go on for way longer than we ever would have thought on one topic. This is just how it is on FightGeist. We are going to run through our 6 through 10 a little faster, and then we'll get to the meat of the episode. So I think I'll start with my number 10, and then we'll go to your number 10, then my number 9, and so on.
Yes.
So
also, one more thing. I think there's actually 7 different promotions.
Jesus, really? In a top 10 list, you got 7 promotions?
Yes. Now, 2 of them are under technically one promotion.
Yeah,
but
WWE.
It really is different thing. It's really separate things. So
fair enough.
Let's run through it, Jack.
Okay. So my number 10, I think this is probably a match you have probably ranked higher than me. I know how much you love this type of match. My number 10 match ever is from WrestleMania 17. This is my earliest match on my list. And it's the TLC match, Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. All right. What is your number 10?
I'm not going to tell you where that is on my list.
All right, fair enough. What's your number 10?
My number 10 is Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan.
Jesus, are you serious?
Joey Janela Spring Break 3. Yes. One of the greatest matches ever. Top 10.
See, I was supposed to be at that show, and my ticket never ended up showing up. I was at night 2 of that show, and I am sad that I missed the Invisible Man match. I still don't know how they did it, how they broke that table in the match. I don't know what that was, but I loved that match too. But how can this be on your top 10 ever list?
Did you not see the table breaking, Jack? You just mentioned it.
Well, yeah, you're right. It's a good point.
I mean, come on now, Jack. It was such a good match. Probably one of the they both were such great workers, honestly.
It's one of the only matches I've ever seen that uses magic tricks, so I'll give it that.
Well, actually, there was that match. What was it? There was that match for the Joe Gacy and that other guy. Those dudes in CZW that hypnotized him and made him break dance.
Made him dance. That's true. That match did happen. There's also, of course, the wrestler Fantasio. Who can forget him? He had like one match in WCW or something. Yeah, classic. Magic is probably the best part of wrestling. Like of course, the Blue Blazer flying down to the ring. Who can forget? Fell down on the ring and then, decided maybe I'll just miss the ring and land on the turnbuckle. Wonderful magic trick.
That was a great magic trick, honestly.
It really was. I only regret that we didn't get to see Owen Hart versus The Godfather. That would have been a match that's on my top 10 list, I think.
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely.
It might actually be on my top 10 list alone because of the finish.
It was a great finish.
It was unexpected.
Yeah. I've never seen a wrestling match like that before.
Me neither, except the one where Misawa died. But anyway, moving on.
One more thing. Voodoo wrestling is a thing. Don't know if you've ever heard of it. But Vice did a whole little documentary on voodoo wrestling. If you haven't watched it, you should totally check it out.
Wow, okay.
But continue.
So my number 9, now this is a match, we both agree our favorite wrestler of all time is Chris Jericho. And we both had him on our top 5 of right now list a couple weeks ago. However, he actually doesn't rank any higher on my matches list than number 9. I like him mostly because of his promos and his character work. I love his matches, but my favorite Chris Jericho match is his match with Shawn Michaels at No Mercy 2008, the ladder match that they had for the world title.
That was great. Honestly, that was great. Honestly, that's something I kind of forgot about.
Yeah, Chris Jericho calls it his favorite match of his career. So I feel like it kind of has to be on the list, But that's my number 9. What's your number 9?
Are you ready for my number 9?
I'm ready.
My number 9 is Jeff Hardy versus Edge Extreme Rules 2009. Jeez. Yes, that's our childhood, Jack.
You know what? I'm going to be totally honest. I've never seen that match.
Dude, you didn't see that? That was like, remember when they had the promo like before SmackDown when they were both on top of the ladder sitting there talking and he threw the thing in his face?
No, I've never seen that either. I wasn't watching it that time. I haven't seen everything.
Oh, wait, you weren't watching it in 2009. Oh, my God.
See, I've seen some of it. I saw the match they had at the Royal Rumble of that year. I saw Jeff Hardy's match with CM Punk, the TLC one at SummerSlam. That's a classic. But I really haven't seen most of 2009.
Dude, I forgot you started in 2010.
Yeah.
Oh, man. 2009 was such a great year.
Yeah.
Like, probably if I was my age now, 19, watching wrestling in 2009, I might not think as highly of it as I did when I was like 8 watching it, but it was a very cool year. But honestly, I still look back at it because things like Hell in a Cell 2009, that was a great pay-per-view, honestly.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I've seen part of that. I've seen Yeah, I've seen CM Punk versus Undertaker. I mean, 2009 seems to me like it would be a much better year to start watching wrestling than 2010. I think I only got into wrestling that year because it was the first time I'd ever seen anything wrestling related. I was at that live show and I was like hooked just because it was wrestling and it was different and I was 9 years old. But I think honestly, if I were the age I am now and I started watching wrestling in 2010, probably wouldn't give a shit. It was not the best year. 2011, by the way, maybe we'll talk about this another time. The best years ever in wrestling. My current contender is 2011.
Dude, that got brought up in that giant group chat that we were in, and it really had me thinking.
Yeah.
Like 2009 actually was very good. I think I'm gonna stand behind that. 2009 was like an amazing year, honestly. I mean, it was a transition from TV-14 to PG, but it was still very great stuff. 2010, it was cool. Like they had the Nexus and all that, but I feel like TNA was better than WWE in 2010.
That's true.
Honestly, Abyss and Rob Van Dam, like there was so much good stuff in 2010. Jeff Hardy, man. Jeff Hardy, great stuff.
Jeff Hardy, classic. I would my contender for year of the year or year of the century, year of the best year of wrestling. I don't know. I guess best year of wrestling would be 2011 right now. But we might have to have that discussion more in depth.
Really?
I would also
ever? You mean ever?
Yeah, I would say it's either 2011 or it's 2002.
Okay, I'm glad you said or 2002.
But
now, honestly, I would say I have not watched all of Attitude Era, but I love it so much, and I feel like I would have to pick a year, maybe like 1998 or 1999, for the Attitude Era, but also for things like ECW.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or are we going based off of WWE alone? WWE and WWF
based
alone?
Based off of everything.
Based off of everything, that's very hard. Well, 2002, going off of WWE, it's like everything from like 98 to like 2003 was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But then in WWE, I feel like it didn't get good again to like, I enjoyed 07, but other people that were older at that time didn't enjoy 07. 08 was cool, 09 was great, but then 10 was kind of eh.
Yeah.
11 was good.
12 was great until the end of the year.
12 was great.
The end part of the year, I feel like after CM Punk turned heel and the Ryback started getting into the title scene, I think it kind of got bad. But
we got the Shield.
The Shield, that's true. That saved it. Then I think wrestling was good again from like when the Shield debuted up to WrestleMania 29. But then I think it kind of got bad again after that.
What was? I'm trying to think of WrestleMania 29. It's like a blur. Is that the one where The Rock hosted?
No, that was Rock Cena 2. So that was the one in New Jersey.
29 was Rock Cena 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hated The Rock back then. I was a mark.
You were a big Cena guy. And then you shit on me for having Cena on my top 5 all-time list on our first episode.
Yeah, but like Cena, I mean, I get why you put him there, but he's not like, he's a good wrestler, but, and like I liked his older work as a wrestler. Like
I can see that.
He kind of started getting boring now.
Now maybe, but I like him now more than I have a lot of his career, though, I think. But you're going to be a little upset by my later matches on this list. But nonetheless, we should run through the rest of these. Your number 9 is Jeff Hardy versus Edge.
Extreme Rules 2009 ladder match, baby.
Ladder match, right? Of course.
Match. Well, classic. TLC is my favorite type of match.
Really?
But hold on, TLC is my favorite type of match. But I'm not talking about TLC where it was like where you're not going for where you have to win by a pin. Like in the WWE games, the old games. TLC matches are like, oh, it's tables, ladders, and chairs, but you gotta win by pin. I'm talking about TLC where it's also a ladder match. Those are the best matches.
It has to be for a title too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my number 8 though, this is an interesting match. I think a lot more people would like this match if, of course, the certain circumstances didn't prevent them from mentioning it very often. WrestleMania 20. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit, triple threat.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was, that's something that I was missing on my list. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Kind of went over my head. I kind of forgot about that, but that was very good.
I think it was a better version of the Batista, Orton, Daniel Bryan match from WrestleMania 30. They tried to do basically the same match at WrestleMania 30, and I think this is just a better version of that. Just as satisfying, but it was I feel like this match overall was better. Bloodier, more like surprising when Benoit won. And the Triple H Shawn Michaels feud is I mean, we'll talk about this another time, our favorite feuds, but I think Triple H Shawn Michaels might be my favorite feud ever. Spoiler alert.
Oh, dude, the 3 stages of hell.
3 stages. Well, that wasn't Triple H Shawn Michaels. That
That
was
was.
Austin.
No, it was Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
They had a 3 stages of hell match.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a separate rivalry.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was earlier. Was it maybe in 2002? Like
Something like that. I remember I watched it a long time ago, and I was like, "Whoa, this is pretty cool."
It was 2002. It was Armageddon 2002. See, I haven't seen that match actually.
Oh, dude. Oh, you're gonna love it. If
I'm sure.
Triple H and Shawn Michaels, you're gonna love it.
I bet this will be my favorite match ever. I bet this will top my list when I watch it.
You know, why is that not on my list? Why is that not on my list? Jesus Christ!
Just wait
I'm
and
about
see,
to remove something. I'm about to remove something, Jack.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you know
Put
what?
that in my list.
That's on your list now?
That's on my list.
Are you gonna remove? What are you removing?
I might have to remove Invisible Man.
That's a good choice, I think.
Cause it's hard, but I think I'll remove Invisible Man for the 3 stages of hell match.
Okay.
But just know Invisible Man is on my list.
He's your number 11.
My number 11.
Okay. So
that match is invisible on my list.
Exactly. That's a perfect place for it. What's your number 8 though? I've said my number 8. What's yours?
Fatal 4-Way NXT.
Oh.
Tyler Breeze, Adrian Neville, Tyson Kidd, Sami Zayn.
So I don't know who this Adrian Neville is. I've never heard of this guy, but mostly I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a very, 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 very good match. Also, it was the first NXT pay-per-view I ever saw. So it kind of has a bigger impact on me than like the average Joe.
Sure.
But yeah, that match was super cool. Really made me a fan of Tyler Breeze. I will back Tyler Breeze any day. He's an amazing wrestler. He should be in AEW right now, doing his beauty shot. Like I wish Tyler Breeze was getting booked better. But whatever. Yeah. Tyler Breeze is amazing. That match was amazing, and I absolutely loved it.
My number 7 is speaking of Triple H and Shawn Michaels' feud. This isn't between them. This is after Shawn Michaels had retired. But I'm sure you remember this match. It was a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania 28 between Triple H and Undertaker. Shawn Michaels was the guest referee. And I think the majority of people probably thought Triple H was actually going to win and end the streak in this match. This was like high drama. People were like, what's going to happen here? Is Undertaker's old, he has a mohawk now. Like, people thought this was his last match. And it's weird to say that now because right now he's still wrestling and it's, 8 years later. But this was a huge match. It was incredible. It was the most brutal I think a Hell in a Cell match can be without blood being shed because I don't think there was any blood in that match. But Shawn Michaels having to make the decision about who to super kick and cost the match. Very emotional, very dramatic, and then they all walked out together at the end. What was your number 7 of all time?
Oh man, I gotta say that was a very great match. Those Undertaker matches I haven't watched since they aired, since they actually came on. But I remember watching those, and it was very emotional. I said in the last episode, time I shed a tear was Shawn Michaels losing and him having to retire. Oh. Crazy times, man. And I actually remember that day. I got chokeslammed on my Elimination Chamber playset and broke it. But I still have all the pieces and I could glue it back together.
You got chokeslammed on your Elimination Chamber playset. So you were the Shawn Michaels of that day.
I was the Shawn Michaels of that day.
Did you crawl up your friend's legs begging him to not retire you afterwards?
I did.
So sad. That's definitely you versus your friend who chokeslammed you is actually my number 2 on my all-time list. I have it written down here, yeah.
It was a pretty good match, honestly.
Second only to me versus me playing Booker T against my friend playing The Rock against my other friend playing Stone Cold when I took a rock bottom on top of a parked car. That's my favorite match of all time.
Yeah.
Which we should probably talk about later. I have quite the backyard wrestling career.
Oh man, that's great. What did you wear? What was your attire?
It was actually just my regular street clothes. I didn't have an official. Nice. Actually, you know what? I had these red shorts. I had these bright red shorts, which I actually think I still have, but they don't even close to fit me. I would wear them because I thought that I was really cool with the red, fiery tights and no shirt, and that was my attire. And
nice.
And in my socks, wrestling in my socks. And I had long hair. I mean, I have long hair now, but not nearly as much as it was then. And
was your hair as long as it was when we met Jericho?
It was longer. Actually, when we met Jericho, I had just gotten a haircut at the time. And actually, a month after that, I got another haircut, and I got it cut very short. So, yeah, I once had hair down my back. It was like
that was a good day meeting Jericho.
That was a good day. Yeah.
I was a mark.
You were a mark. I was also a mark. I was fucking terrified to say anything to him. I walked up and I was like, "You're my favorite of all time," and he's like, "Thank you, man." And then I didn't know what else to say, so I just gave him my pop figure and moved on.
Yeah, I said he's like one of the best out of everything he did. He was playing almost easy by Avenged Sevenfold. Great song. And I was like, "Oh." I said something about the music he was playing and complimented it. And then I was like, "Oh, so my mark self said any advice for being a wrestler?" And he was like, "Oh, it's all in this book, man." And I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Nice way to not answer your question. Just, all right, move along, kid. You've been at my table for too long.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even look. Remember how there was a lady that you would give her your phone and then like she takes the photos? I was like, okay, I want him to look at the camera, and then I look at the camera and we smile. Didn't happen. It's just me cheesing like a mark.
Same year. That's exactly my picture.
Thing. Yeah.
If you go to, I think it's on both of our Instagrams. If you go to my Instagram, which is Ajax LP, if you go to your Instagram, which is Prince Havoc with a 1 and a K, of course, if you scroll back far enough, actually, I might have archived mine. I'm not sure because it's an embarrassing photo. I think we both have these pictures of us. They're almost identical, of us looking at Jericho with this dumb grin on our face and not looking at the camera and not realizing that they were taking a picture of us.
Man,
it's embarrassing looking back.
You have the same photo as me. I shook his hand. I was like marking out. Oh my god, dude! I never marked out that much until recently, and I thought I've overcame being a mark. Training as a wrestler and hanging out with wrestlers and whatnot. I thought I overcame my markness. I went to a House of Glory show and Kurt Angle was there. And
I was going to say, did you meet Ken Broadway? Oh, you were marking out for Ken Broadway?
Oh my god. Great guy, Ken Broadway. I still have one of his like dollar bills from 2016. Autograph.
Face on it? That's sick.
Yeah. But
Kurt Angle.
So Kurt Angle was there and I was like, I wasn't going to pay for anything, I'm not really trying to do all that, but he was there, no one was at his table, he was alone, and I was like, I'm going to go talk to him. And I had confidence, I was like, yeah, I'm going to just talk to him like, he's one of my boys or whatever.
Sure.
I go up to him, and I shake his hand, I'm looking at Kurt Angle, and I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, I love your work, I just marked out, and then like, I asked him like advice for wrestling, he was like, don't take any unnecessary bumps. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Oh, he would know. He would know.
He would know.
He's taken unnecessary bumps when he wasn't even in a pro wrestling match, when he was in the Olympics. So
totally. And then I wanted to say more to him because he was just so great, and I just couldn't, and I just walked off. And then I tried to meet Enzo Amore, and I don't know where he went. He left. I think I would have marked out more for Enzo Amore than I would have for Kurt Angle.
Really? That's
I love Enzo Amore so much.
Strange.
I know people hate him.
I do.
Yeah.
But you want to know my most embarrassing story meeting a wrestler? This is just sad. So I was at I mean, it's not like it's that embarrassing. It's not like I pissed myself or embarrassed myself or anything deliberately. But this was before I had ever really had conversations with any wrestlers. I now at this point have not to brag, I've talked to Rich Swann for 45 minutes straight one time. You and I
Rich
together.
Swann is the coolest guy in the world.
He is the coolest guy.
Same with Jared.
Except when he beat his wife. But you...
Oh my god.
I know, I don't believe that either. You and I both met Shane Douglas one time, and we talked to him for a while as well until they tried to pressure us to buy autographs. I've had conversations with wrestlers. I've had real conversations with wrestlers and, not been nervous. But there was a certain point when I met, this is going to sound bad, but I met Ron Simmons, Farouk. I met him at a random show, just some Warriors of Wrestling show in Brooklyn. And I walked up to him to get my picture taken with him, and I was going to say something funny to him. I was like, oh, do your damn thing or something. I was going to make some joke or just whatever. I was going to say anything to him. And what did I say? Hey, how's it going? We took the picture, and I walked away. That was my entire interaction. Why was I nervous to meet Farouk? I don't know. He didn't even have the blue helmet on.
Oh, man, I don't even know. It's just something about certain people.
Yeah.
It just makes me nervous. Dude, Mark Henry was also at that House of Glory event. and I didn't like. He walked past me, and I remember just staring at him, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I didn't even say anything to him, but honestly, he's a real cool guy.
Yeah.
Like now that I listen to like the Busted Open show, Mark Henry's actually a real cool dude. Cool dude. Like I'd hang out with him.
He seems like it.
I remember we're gonna continue the list, but I remember I was ICW. What was it? One Night Only, 2016. That was really my first wrestling event. Technically my first was Creative Pro, but like it wasn't like the cool wrestling. It was like Creative Pro's cool, but ICW is like way better. Also, at that Creative Pro show, I saw. I went there only because Grim from Grimm's Toy Show was there.
Oh, see, I used to be a big fan of his too.
Yeah, me too. And best friends were there, and they were really cool, and I thought they were great. I met them, but anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so at ICW, Sabu walks by me, and dude, like I was just in complete awe, and like I was just watching him walk by me, and I was just Like I remember I was in the conversation, I was just, oh my god. And then Sabu at another ICW event down the line, he knew me from Instagram.
Right.
You remember that?
I was there. Yes, I remember this.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, Sabu knows me from Instagram. That was probably the coolest moment in my life.
Yeah, I remember that same day, Sabu walked past me, and I was like, okay, I would just watch Sabu go in the ring and have a match with Teddy Hart, where he looked like he could literally collapse into a pile of bones at any second. He was literally falling apart.
He had a match with who?
Teddy Hart.
Wait,
yeah, we don't talk about him anymore. He's in prison. So Sabu was falling apart before our eyes, and I was like, you know what? Just because I'm watching him right now and I can see his dick through his pants, I am not nervous to meet this guy anymore. So I'll go talk to him after the show. I would be nervous, but I would like, and also because I've seen him, spouting racial slurs and stuff on Twitter, so I know who he is. So I went up to him, he walked past me on his way out. He had his suitcase and everything. And I was like, hey, Sabu, how's it going? And he's like, oh, hey, man, how are you? And I just had this grin on my face, like, I'm meeting Sabu. And he just left. And that's it. I didn't do anything. I was this fucking happens to me so much, way more than I would like. I think I'm going to walk up to a wrestler and have a conversation with them, and I fucking lose it. I'm just like, I'm a mark. But the wrestlers who I don't think I'll mark out for, or who I never even think about meeting, I end up having a long conversation with them. So I don't know what the deal is with me.
It's weird. Honestly, I'm usually I thought I was good. I thought like I haven't marked out like that in a while, but then Kurt Angle, something happened, man. Something happened, man. I don't know. It's him being Kurt Angle.
Sure.
Watching him on my television for years. I don't know, man.
By the way, weird. I've got some breaking news. I just saw this on Instagram right before we started recording. It's not going to be breaking news by the time this episode's up, probably. Kurt Angle's just been released by WWE.
He's still been in WWE. I didn't even know that.
Well, he's in a Legends contract, but I think they released him, and I could definitely see.
What does that consist of? Like, you just get paid to do nothing?
Yeah, basically. But they
could use your name.
Right. Well, they can still do that even if they release you, but I think it just basically means that he'll show up time to time, like the way Ric Flair does, or even the way Kurt Angle does. He shows up every once in a while and cuts a promo or something,
Oh, I wonder what it would be pretty cool if he went to AEW. I heard AEW is gonna have aren't they gonna have like a second show?
Yeah, but it's probably just gonna be like dark,
You think they're gonna have a draft type thing?
That would be cool if they did a.
They can do it right. I know they do it so perfectly right. AEW can't do wrong.
You are such a mark for AEW. If you met AEW right now, you would just walk away with a stupid grin on your face like me. So. No,
dude, I'm scared of that. So like, since Santana is my trainer, we were able to help out for the TNA taping at Melrose Ballroom.
Yeah.
I didn't mark out at all. Everyone was very.
You didn't help out at all either.
Wait, what'd you say? I didn't.
You didn't help out at all either.
I did help out. You know how much work I did that night? Jesus Christ.
Here's what I saw. I saw you just standing there talking to me and lifting a couple of chairs every couple minutes.
Oh my god, that was at the end. We had to get there early, and we had to meet everybody, and then we literally had to organize every single chair. And they had letters on them, and we had to put them in the separate in the correct sections with the correct letters. It was a whole thing, man.
Okay, I believe you.
It was fun. We had to usher people to their seats, but it was fun. We got to meet all the wrestlers, so that was cool. But I was thinking about what if we ever had to do that for AEW? I've never met anyone from the Elite. Never met the Young Bucks. I never met my heroes: Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page. I don't know how I would act. I would just be silent. I wouldn't even talk.
I would like to go to an AEW show sometime with you and watch your reaction to meeting these people. I want to make sure you meet these people, and I want to see you break down like I did so many times. And, film it and put it on our YouTube channel. That's just what I'm going to do.
Nah, no.
It's going to happen. This is going to happen someday. I'm sorry, this is going to happen.
You know what I'm scared of? Like, I've liked them for years and still never met them, but I met so many other wrestlers, and I think about it. I'm like, what if I never ever meet them, and then let's say down the line I get a AEW contract. I'm just gonna be a mark backstage. Like, I'm gonna have a wrestling contract with them, but I'm just gonna be the biggest mark ever.
Yeah, you totally will.
That's scary.
So, okay, we've been talking about marking out for a while now, and I realize we are only at number 7 on our list. Did you say number 7?
No, I didn't even say my number 7.
We should go through our number 7 and 6 really fast.
My number 7 is so underrated. Like, everyone forgets about this. Kota Ibushi versus Cedric Alexander, Cruiserweight Classic.
That's a good point. Yeah, I like that.
Cruiserweight Classic was one of the best things ever. Should have happened again, but it didn't. And Kota and Cedric had a great match.
True. So my number 6 is also from that same year, 2016. This is what I think most people agree this is probably the best tag team match ever. DIY versus The Revival from TakeOver Toronto. Of course, you know how much I like DIY. I love The Revival too. So sad they got released. And that match, 2 out of 3 falls. Oh, I was jumping up and down, marking out when the fucking DIY won their belts. It was very sad when they lost them. What's your number 6?
You know, I forgot about that match to really put on this list. And that was a very good match. Very good. I love DIY. When they broke up, I was very hurt.
Yeah.
Number 6. All right. Kenny Omega.
Oh, no.
Versus Chris Jericho.
Okay.
Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Okay, no, see, this was on my list. This was on my extended list before I cut it out. But, yeah, don't have a problem with that.
Very good match. Both the people I love fighting at Wrestle Kingdom. Chris Jericho cursing and stuff. Like, everything was just so good about that time. Like, oh, man. Chris Jericho, ever since Chris Jericho left WWE, he's just been, like, way cooler than he's ever been. It's the best. But that match meant so much to me as a wrestling fan because those are, like, my 2 favorites, you know?
Yeah.
And it was actually a really good match. It was just, I love that.
Well, now that we've gotten our 6 through 10 out of the way after, about 32 minutes of talking, we have to get into this top 5. This top 5 is what's really important about this episode. This is supposed to be all about our top 5 matches. So at this point, top 5. My number 5. This is a match a lot of people forget about. Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 21.
Never saw it.
What? You've never
working
seen
my way up there.
Oh my god, dude!
I probably did see it a long time ago, but I barely remember it.
This was the first match I ever saw, and I was like, this is the greatest match of all time.
Really?
I've watched it back since, and it's not as good as it was when I was a kid, but it's...
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of doing.
Yeah, no, I don't want to watch any of these matches again.
Back.
Even the ones I really love, like DIY Revival, like the ones where like that seems like a perfect match to me, I don't want to watch it again. It's going to be bad if I do.
Yeah, no, there's some matches that are very good if you watch it again.
They are.
Like Kota and Cedric, I watched that a couple times, very good.
Okay.
Hardy Boys, like those Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian Dudley Boys matches, very good.
They don't ever get old. But Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, this was the first match I ever considered to be my favorite match of all time. And I was like, there's got to be a match I like better than this. And sure enough, as I watched more matches and, old events and newer stuff as well, that sunk on my list. So it's only number 5 right now, but it has to have a spot on my top 5 because it was once my favorite match. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is going to shock you.
Really?
I'm telling you, this top 5, no one's going to have this top 5 list. Like, I'm like very happy about my list, but people are going to hate on it. But it's whatever. I don't care. You ready for my number 5, Jack?
I'm so ready.
You're probably going to be so mad about this. Sick Nick Mondo versus Wife Beater. The finals of Tournament of Death 1.
The fucking Weed Whacker?
Yes, the Weed Whacker.
You know what? I actually respect that.
Dude, it's more than the Weed Whacker. If you watch that whole event, it's like a beautiful story, honestly.
It really is.
Even the match before that Nick Mondo won when he fought Messiah, it was just beautiful. And even it being outside and the sun setting during that match and everything, everything about it was so cool, and the story that they told, I love them. I love that.
I don't know
And
if you've ever seen it, but
I'm a sucker for deathmatch wrestling, and
you
Tournament
are.
of Death One, there's nothing like it,
I
man.
really don't like death matches that much, but I like them when they're good, and this was good. Wife beater Nick Mondo, classic. For death matches as they come, classic. That whole event, you're right. The first Tournament of Death, right?
Yeah, man, it was so good.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen it, but Nick Mondo's movie that he made about his career, The
Yeah,
Trade.
it was pretty crazy,
Right. He
honestly.
talks about that, and he's like, every match that I had that night, he wanted it to have a different big moment, like a big spot. So he had like the one where he went off the truck early in the match, early in the
Yeah,
show, and then he had was that the same night that he went off the roof?
yeah, that was the
Yeah, with Zandig.
big bump. Yeah,
Yeah, so they had that one, and then of course he takes the weed whacker and like almost fucking dies. So he's really an underrated pick. Not a match you could show to most people who you wanted to introduce to wrestling, but
yeah.
definitely a classic.
But honestly, it's very they really tell a good story within that whole entire event.
Yeah,
Like it's one of the best deathmatch events ever. One of the best death matches ever.
it has to
Like
be.
I love it. I
Now,
love it. Yeah.
my number four is something very different. It's a match that I don't I really am averted to sounding like a typical quote unquote internet guy who has the same regurgitated opinions as every other person on the internet who talks about wrestling. And there's a lot of people who have the same opinions. If you anybody from What Culture or anybody from these certain,
What
you know,
culture?
yeah, What Culture? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, What Culture?
Adam Blampede?
Exactly. People like that, they regurgitate these opinions that most of them, I mean, some of them I can agree with, certainly. But when they say things like Cesaro should be world champion, things like Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns was a great match. These are bullshit opinions that I personally do not agree with.
Now
So,
hold on.
well, okay, we can talk about this another time.
Wait a
If we're
second
talking
there,
about,
Buckaroo.
hold on.
Cesaro
I
is a
knew you would take
great
issue with
wrestler.
that. He's great. I like him. He's not a world champion. You know what? This is a
What?
discussion. We will talk about this next week. I will write this down right now, and we'll talk about this next week because I do not want to run out of time on this episode before we get to our top
Right.
matches.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair
but we'll
enough.
talk about this whether Cesaro's world champion material. But in the interest of not sounding like an internet guy, like somebody who has regurgitated opinions they don't really believe, I usually don't
For
like.
so
I don't usually like to say things that would make me seem that way. Unfortunately, this is going to. My number four match: Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 25.
I
Not
knew it was gonna
not
be
the
there. I knew
retirement.
you were gonna have it.
I know you knew that. And this is not the retirement match. This is the one before that because I think the retirement match was a better moment with the finish and everything like that. But 25 overall, top to bottom, better match.
Okay. No, it was a great match. It was
Yeah.
a great match, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay, well then
It's
you're
not
number
on.
four. Let's see your number four. It better not be some marquee Kenny Omega match.
Oh, it's funny you say that.
Oh shit.
My number four is Kenny Omega versus John Moxley at AEW Full Gear main event,
What?
the hardcore death match. Now, the reason it's there is because not only was it a great match, John Moxley came such a long way from where he was in WWE, even from just like watching his story, like him being John Moxley at CCW, him coming to WWE, Dean Ambrose, going through everything he went through, finally coming back to be John Moxley in the top promotion, making good money. Like, everything about it was just so perfect. And Kenny Omega, Dean Ambrose, Kenny Omega, John Moxley, that was such a dream match for me. And it was a freaking death match, Jack.
Yeah,
The
it
main
was.
event of a high ranked wrestling promotion, the number one wrestling promotion, honestly,
Well,
had the main
number two.
event number one, Jack, had the main event as a death match. That's never been a thing, and it's just very cool because they really put deathmatch wrestling like in the mainstream. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
I feel like it was really cool. It was really good for deathmatch wrestling, and it was a great match. Told a great story. Everything about it was just very beautiful, Jack.
See, I don't totally object to that pick, but what scares me about this is that if that's number four and you still haven't mentioned Young Bucks versus Omega and Hangman, then I'm terrified about where that's going to end up on your list.
Yeah. All right.
So, okay, my number three, and I will say this is something that, much like your marquee obsession with AEW, I have a very marquee obsession with the Johnny Gargano Tommaso Ciampa feud. Honestly, I mentioned Triple H and Shawn Michaels as being my favorite feud ever earlier.
Yes,
I
yes.
think actually Gargano Ciampa might be better. I think I might like it
Really?
as my favorite feud ever. I think. I'm not totally sure, but nonetheless, I'm going to rank this as number 3 since it was so recent. Gargano versus Ciampa from this week's NXT. No, from Takeover New Orleans. Their original match with the unsanctioned match. I mean,
I gotta watch.
It's
NXT.
perfect. It's perfect. You've seen that though.
I can't remember.
Oh come on, the one where Gargano was fired and he had to win his job back by beating Ciampa. It was their very first match. You were watching NXT at the time because we went to a takeover together that year.
I'm trying to think. I'm gonna tell you the last NXT event that I saw.
Right. This is a long time ago.
Okay, I do not remember seeing. Let's see. Oh my God, this is hard. There was a takeover Florida. Okay.
There's been a few of those. No, takeover Florida didn't happen.
We went to Brooklyn 3, right?
Yes. No, we went to Brooklyn 4. Wait.
No, I think
we went to 4. Yeah, we went to. I went to 3, but you weren't at that one.
I went to 2 of them though.
You probably went to 3 as well. That's where you got your picture taken with Nakamura.
Oh yeah, when I met Shinsuke.
We didn't know each other then, but we went to 4 together.
Okay, got you. So looking at it right now, I think the last takeover I saw was maybe Takeover New York 2019, maybe, or War Games 2019. It's been a while, man.
Jesus. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to put down an ultimatum for you. You are going to start watching NXT again every week. It's not difficult because you can watch it on the network.
AEW is on.
No. I know that's a good excuse, but they put NXT on the network on Friday of each week. They put the new NXT episode on the network.
Yeah, but on Fridays is when I watch AEW Dark. Sorry.
You can watch it anytime. Also, AEW Dark is on Tuesdays, but you can watch it anytime.
I watch Being the Elite on Tuesdays. Sorry.
You fucking Mark. You're watching NXT every week now, or else you're fired.
Fired?
Yeah. I'll say it like Vince if you want me to.
I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving. I'm starting my own podcast.
Yeah, you pray. Get up, please. Most people won't understand that reference, but I do.
Sid storms out.
Great
episode.
Go find it. 2007. So,
hold on. Let me say something.
Yes.
I just fell off on NXT before even AEW was a thing. Before it was on air and all that, I kind of just fell off it. I don't know what happened. It sort of just happened. Now, every time I watch NXT, I love it so much. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Freaking, the Undisputed Era is so cool. Johnny Gargano is so cool. Velveteen Dream is great. But then I just kind of forget about it. I don't know, man.
And that's fine.
I love it. But it's what happens.
Right now, it's automatically not going to be as good as it usually is because of the empty arena and all the plans kind of being changed, especially for NXT. Like for Raw and SmackDown, it's bad. It's not that good TV with the empty arena.
But you know what it's good for? AEW Dynamite.
It is. Actually, AEW does it really well, which is, I don't know why they do it better, but they do. NXT
well, they also struggled. They actually have good matches, and they also have, Raw does have good matches.
It has been recently, yeah.
But, they have very good matches in AEW, and they have the wrestlers that are on the outside of the ring.
Like that, yeah.
That's such a cool little touch.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Well, what I mean is that NXT struggled because they had to cancel TakeOver and they had to change. They had to put the matches that were going to happen at TakeOver on TV with no audience, and it doesn't feel like NXT.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why Gargano Ciampa happened last week. And there was a ladder match too. That you got to watch last week's episode for sure. But
I kind of want to watch all the takeovers that I've missed out on.
You should, yeah.
And then just start watching from this week.
Some of the all-time best takeovers have happened since you stopped watching. So let me just say that.
Really, that's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I believe you though. But
moving on though, you said earlier that you only had one NXT match on your list. That was the one you already mentioned, the Fatal 4-Way.
Fatal 4-Way, yeah.
What is your number 3 though?
Number 3? Again, a match that is overlooked, no one thinks about, but is on my list because it's really a great match. Will Ospreay versus Marty Scurll versus Hiromu Takahashi versus Kushida, Wrestle Kingdom 12. Great match.
It is.
That's the second match from Wrestle Kingdom 12 that's on my list.
Wrestle Kingdom 12, we can agree, best Wrestle Kingdom ever, right?
That's hard. That's hard to say. I can't agree with that.
Really?
I'd really have to think about that.
Okay, well,
But it was very good. It was
I
very
think
good.
it was. I think it was the best one. I feel like pretty much every match on that. That's the only one I've ever watched live. Part of the excitement was the fact that I woke up at 2 a.m. to watch it.
Oh, that was the only one watched. Okay, yeah, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
I watch all of them live. I don't care. I broke night, man.
Well, you
I'm a
go to
monk.
sleep at like 5 a.m. every night, so that's you.
Well, no, it was all the past Wrestle Kingdoms I had school the next morning, and I would literally be dragging. I'd be dragging myself to school.
Well,
Like it was really horrible. Like it was just the worst feeling ever. The after Wrestle Kingdom hangover, but it was totally worth it, dude.
Wrestle Kingdom 12, the 2018 one. I had a snow day. I'm sure you did too. There was a snow day.
Was that our snow day one?
Yeah, that was the snow day one. That's why I stayed up. I would have probably not stayed up otherwise. I'm not sure, but I had to watch Omega and Jericho live. That's like I had to. That was my dream match of all time, probably one of my all-time dream matches. Speaking of nothing, I always try to make these segues with speaking of, and this one doesn't really have a speaking of anything. My number two, my number two. At least I can admit that instead of trying to do. I remember a couple episodes ago I said something like, "Speaking of wrestling and watching wrestling," and then that was my segue. So
a great segue.
Yeah, I know. See, sometimes these just come out of my ass.
Segway King, that should be your nickname.
Segway
Mr.
King, I'm adding that. I'm Jack, I'm Ajax, I'm Mr. Clean, I'm Segway King. I'm writing that down right now, actually. So my number two, we mentioned Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yes,
My number two favorite match is Triple H versus Shawn Michaels in a Hell in a Cell match, Bad Blood 2004.
Ooh, I think I watched that one. See, there's so many matches that I really want to watch, but I'm working my way up on the WWE Network. I just want the full experience. I don't want to watch a match without context.
Yeah.
Even though they give the little, summary beforehand, still, I need to watch. I need to know everything that happened.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally get that. I watched
so honestly, that would probably be in my list. There would be a lot more Attitude Era Ruthless Aggression matches if I saw all of it, but I'm working my way up. So maybe my list will change in I don't know, a few years when I finish all that stuff.
So maybe we'll come back to this list, a few years from now when we're on episode 300 or something like that. We'll see.
Honestly, I want to make another top 10 list because there's so many matches, but yeah.
You're 11 through 20. So, okay, what's your number two then? We're almost at the end of this list.
My number two is a couple of matches, a bunch of matches that were all kind of the same because I can't pick one over the other. But the Hardys versus Edge and Christian and versus the Dudleys, those ladder matches, nothing ever compares to them. The only ones that do are like the Young Buck ladder matches, which are really cool. But yeah, man, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that, honestly. Everything about it is perfect, down from the matches and the bumps that they take and the vibe that it gives off from wrestling back in the day. Like Jeff Hardy with his red hair and cargo pants and Edge with his long blonde hair and his baby face and his freaking what do you call the things on his shorts? On his pants, on his tights. I don't even know.
Little squiggles.
Everything from the look to the attires to the theme song to the graininess of the video to the matches to the ring aprons to the logos. Everything's just perfect, man.
So I like this. I love this pick. It was my number 10. I like this pick. I have no problem with that. Just now that you said that, I know what your number one is, and I'm pissed off about it. So why don't you say it? Just say it and get it out of the way.
No, I'm going last. You say your number one.
But we all know what this is. We all know what this match is.
No, you don't know.
I totally do.
Totally don't.
Fine. All right. My number one, all time. This might make me sound like internet guy again, but it has to be my favorite match. CM Punk, John Cena. CM Punk versus John Cena. Money in the Bank 2011. I'm sorry. It's the best match ever.
Mark, you're one of those guys that went online every day in 2015 and looked up, is CM Punk returning to WWE?
I still look that up every week.
CM Punk all the time.
CM Punk, in my top 20, when I had whittled it down to like a good 20 or 15, he had like 3 or 4 matches on my list. I ended up cutting all of them but this one.
Honestly, CM Punk should be on my list, but he's not. Sorry.
We went over our top 5s of all time, and CM Punk, he's my number 6 all time. I'll say that. He was the honorable mention for that list.
I think he should be my number 6 too.
Yeah, he's
Joey Janela was my number 6 though.
He was number 5. Oh no, you're right. You cut him off the list.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, that's my number 1. CM Punk, John Cena. I mean, it's hard to argue with that match, I think. But There is a match that's easy to argue with, and that's your number one. Just fucking say it. Just fucking say it. I'm gonna flip the table.
It's not easy to argue with at all. It's the best match of all time.
You know, I made a joke before we started taping today. I said, which one of us is going to storm out on this episode? And you know what? It's going to be me as soon as you say this. And I'm not even joking at this point. Just fucking put me out of my misery. Just say it.
My number one match of all time happened at AEW Revolution. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks.
Did you get that? That was my sigh. I was sighing.
That was one of the greatest matches ever. Now, not only was it such a great match. Now, this is me. This is my opinion. I've been watching Being the Elite. I've been watching the Elite, the Bullet Club, the Young Bucks, Omega, Hangman, Skrull, all these, Adam Cole, all these people. I've been watching the whole thing since, like, the beginning. And the story of that is just so emotional. Everything from Hangman leaving the freaking Elite to him trying to do his own thing, saying that the Young Bucks are just holding him down, this and that, and now he left the Elite and now he has his title and he drinks beer all the time, and Kenny Omega trying to make everyone come back together as a family, but it doesn't work because Hangman Page just doesn't want anything to do with them. Oh my god. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to me to watch Hangman Page go on his own little adventure in the wrestling world and turn his back on the Elite, his brothers. But yeah.
See, I'm not gonna pretend.
Story. Hold on. The story that was told.
Just keep talking then.
The story that was told was a beautiful story that means so much to me, and the match itself was so good. Even the story that was told in the match.
I'm not.
Oh my god, it was so good, Jack.
I'm not gonna pretend that I don't like this match. This is a fucking good match. It was good.
Thank you. I know.
But I mean,
that's why it's my number one.
It was emotional for you.
It was.
How?
Well, Jack, you have not been watching things like Being the Elite.
Well, there's a fucking reason for that.
I've watched so much Being the Elite. It makes it 10 times more emotional if you were watching that. And even watching everything from the Bullet Club to the Elite to where they've come from.
That I've watched.
Dude, I remember the Young Bucks made a speech at House of Glory talking about how, I forgot if it was Nick or Matt saying this, about how they were like homeless and they were about to give up on wrestling, and then like one brother convinced the other, one brother convinced the other that, like, dude, we gotta do this. We have to do this. Give it one more year. And everything they've overcame, they made it to the top. They have AEW. Just, oh my god.
We have to give it one more year of copying the Hardy Boys.
I can't.
Just one more year of copying the Hardy Boys. Just one more year. Come on. One more year of backyard wrestling. Please.
Everyone copies each other, Jack.
Yeah. Okay, you know what?
No one's original.
I'm just going to say this, because we could argue about this all day. I could literally probably argue about this for hours. So I have set this up. I have written this down here, and I have marked it off. 2 weeks' time. We're acting like this was a wrestling event. In 2 weeks' time, right here on the Superstation at 6:05 p.m., we are going to have the great debate, Young Bucks, GOAT or WOT, that is greatest of all time or worst of all time. We both have our
that's
positions.
not even a thing, Jack.
No, it is.
WOT's
it is.
Even a thing.
I created it. It's a thing. I made it a thing, all right? We are going to have this debate, and we are going to decide once and for all. We're going to have you, the listeners, decide who is right. Am I right or is he right? We're going to find out, and I'm going to lay this to rest right now, because I could go on. We're going to write down our notes. We're going to have a formal debate, and we're going to figure this out. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So, all right.
Jack, I don't understand. All you're going to say is, oh, they do the same moves over and over, which every wrestler does. Oh, they copy the Hardy Boys. They copy the Rockers. Every wrestler has an influence from someone before them. You're just going to say the same stuff. Oh, their personalities suck. They're not funny.
Tune in.
They're the GOATs,
2 weeks.
Jack.
Tune in 2 weeks to find out if that's exactly what I say.
Imagine if the Young Bucks were around, though, back in the day. Like, imagine, like, Fatal 4-Way, Hardys, Young Bucks, Dudleys, Edge, and Christian. Like, oh my god.
I can imagine it, and it makes me want to slit my wrist.
So
all
good.
Right, you know what? Let's move on. In 2 weeks, we will have this discussion. We will dedicate the entire episode to it. You know what? You know what? I hate to be this mad right now, because I was about to introduce my new comedy bit, okay? And now I'm just fucking pissed off. So That's okay.
It's not my fault.
I'm going to
Not
channel
my
my
fault.
anger.
You're a hater.
I'm going to channel my anger into
Mark.
art. All right. Your number one
You're
match.
worse than four
sucks.
Soa.
Yeah. No, not that bad. All right.
All right,
Phil,
you're not that.
Phil, listen. Did you know that I do impressions?
No, I didn't.
I do. Well,
one.
this is a new thing, but I've been
Oh, boy.
practicing for my my open mic. I'm going to be doing. Okay.
Are you really doing an open mic?
Oh well, right now this is my open mic.
Oh, this is your.
I
Okay, I see.
gotta ask you. For my first impression here, I want you to guess who I'm being. Okay.
Okay, let's
Ready?
do this.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Hello, I am Elias. Who am I?
Oh yeah, you're Stone Cold when he had the guitar, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it. Maybe
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
too easy.
yeah,
Was that
yeah.
too easy? Okay. You know what? That's fine. I have
It
more.
was too easy.
I have more. All right. This is more situational. I don't need you to guess what this one is. It's obvious enough, right? This is kind of a situational joke. It's it's very specific. So this is Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? When you're trying to talk to him, but he's got headphones in,
Okay.
right? Okay.
Okay.
So say something to him.
Hi Stone Cold. Did you drink beer today?
What?
I said, hi Stone Cold. Did you drink beer today?
What? That's it. That's
I
the
said
impression.
hi.
That's the impression.
Oh. That was good. You sound just like him.
Thank you. Yeah. See, I mean, this isn't so hard. I got another one. Let me keep going.
Do another
All
one, please.
This is Stone Cold Steve Austin, right?
Yeah.
When he's driving and you cut him off at an intersection.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
That was very good. Honestly,
See?
I've never heard a better impression ever.
Honestly, I'm taking this to the stage. I'm gonna be going up on an open mic. Whenever this virus passes, I'm gonna be.
You're
going up on
better
stage.
than Gilbert Gottfried impersonating doing the impression of Jerry Seinfeld or Dracula.
Absolutely.
You're very good at this.
Of course. I do have one more, and I think maybe this will put me over the top. I think this will put me on the main stage. Maybe SNL is gonna give me a call. You never know.
Please do it.
All right, this is Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? And you're a police officer. You knock on the door and you tell him that his mom died.
Okay.
Okay, do it. Hello, who is it?
It's the fuzz.
What happened?
Hate to break it to you, Stone Cold, but your mother died.
What? That's it. That's the impression.
Oh wow, that was very good.
I'm applauding myself. I know.
I can't
See,
believe
I'm a
I
genius.
never knew you had this secret talent.
See, it's really not that difficult. I mean, most people can do it. I hate to pat myself on the back, but I think I'm easily the next. Who's that guy with the puppets?
I don't know.
I'm easily the next Gabriel Iglesias. Let me say that. I'm the
That
next.
guy.
I'm the next Carlos Mencia. I don't know why I'm just.
Oh my God, Carlos Mencia, horrible.
I don't know why I'm
You
just
do not
naming
wanna be
fat
that guy.
Hispanic comics, but I'm one of those.
He's actually German. He's not really Mexican.
Carlos Mencia is German?
Yeah. You never saw Joe Rogan murder him?
No, I've seen that. I just thought he was Mexican.
No, he's not actually Mexican.
Interesting.
But honestly, Jack, you need to perform. I forgot if he was like Swedish or German. I think he was German. But honestly, you need to perform everywhere, man. You need to go to Caroline's.
Oh, yeah.
You need to go to the Comedy Store. You need to perform everywhere, man. This is great.
See,
Forget wrestling. Don't even be a wrestler. Just be a comedian.
I think
An
so.
impression.
Yeah,
Or you
I
could
mean,
be like Dolph Ziggler, be a comedian and a wrestler.
except the difference is I'll actually be good. For now, though, while I'm not a comedian, I'm here. I'm on the airwaves. I'm hosting FightGeist, the alternative wrestling podcast, available on every single platform. We're available on more platforms now. We're actually available on TuneIn.com. We're now available on Deezer. We're available on D's Nuts, right? It's my new joke.
Ah!
Oh, that was
I like
too loud. We're available on Castbox. We're available on if there's a podcast app that exists, we're there. We are. Just find us. FightGeist, the alternative wrestling podcast. We're everywhere. Okay? Basically, I'm just begging for listeners because at this point we're pretty small, and I'm sad about that. We have our YouTube channel. We have our videos that are still up. Our X-Pac video just hit 100 views, past 100 views, which, obviously not a great number, but it's better than nothing. And our theme song right here that we're going out to, by the way, 6 fucking million views. So how about you get us to 6 million views and then we'll talk, all right? Then we'll actually let you call into the show, and we'll let you have any interaction with us. Get us to fucking 6 million views. Thank you. We're on Instagram, at FightGeist Wrestling. We're on Twitter, at FightGeistPod. Oh, yeah. We're on Gmail, gmail.com, right? FightGeistWrestling@gmail.com. That exists.
Yeah.
We have a website. It's called FightGeist.wordpress.com. It sucks. Yes. It sucks, but I had to make it. I had to make it.
Honestly, I should make an Angel Fire website.
Honestly, why isn't there already one? We should also have our own Wikipedia. I mean, come on. Really? We're the biggest podcast in the world at this point. We're the greatest of all time. We're not the WOT. We are the GOAT. Right?
Whatever that is. Yeah, we're the GOAT.
Exactly. So, without further ado, thank you all for listening to FightGeist, the Alternative Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jack Peterson. My name is Ajax. My name is Mr. Clean. I'm reading these off my notes here because you mentioned that I had a new nickname, so I got to read them all now at this point because I just have it open. So I'm Sex Pop. I'm that nasty man. I'm the man of 1,000 strongly worded wrestling opinions. I'm Corona guy. I'm quarantine man, and most of all, I am Segway guy. Right? Segway king. In fact.
Yes.
And
Mr. Segway.
That's what that means. And I'm also a professional comedian. And most of all, I'm joined every single week by the man across the internet connection.
I am Phil. I am Prince Havoc. I am Mr. Predictions. I am Too Sweet. I am living in 1989. What else? I enjoy Super Coffee, Jack. If you've never heard of Super Coffee, everyone should go check it out. We're going to be sponsored by them soon.
Yeah, not yet,
it's the coolest thing ever. Healthy energy drink. We should already be sponsored by them. I'm talking so highly of them. But anyway, yeah, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitch. Prince Havoc. With I. Damn it, I always mess it up. Prince Havoc with one instead of a I and a K instead of a C. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. My top 10 list is way better than Jack's, and the Young Bucks rule. Later.
Thanks for listening. We'll be live next week on Twitch, and we'll let you know the details on our Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, everybody.